Hey guys, I know I've been slacking. I have not been posting a lot, but today I have a trio. Yes, I'm going to show you how I made these mashed potatoes, smothered chicken, and southern green beans. Welcome to Cooking with S. Now let's get started. Okay, guys, so these are the ingredients: bell pepper, onion, garlic, of course, the chicken, flour, any seasonings that you would like. I love this chicken bouillon flavor. Instead of the powder, I'll be using this today. All right, guys, so since this is a trio, of course, I'm going to cut this onion, put half for the green beans later, and then a little bit for the smothered chicken. All right, y'all, it's time to season up this chicken. I'm using a little seasoned salt, black pepper, and garlic powder. I'm not really doing too much on this because all of the flavor and the rest of the ingredients that is going to go into this fried chicken, that's where all the seasoning and flavor is going to come from. So I'm just putting a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then we're going to get to the next step. All right, guys, now it's time to season our flour. I'm going to use the same thing that I used in the chicken, only I'm going to add paprika. So everything that I put in the chicken, I'm putting it in the flour, but I'm adding paprika. All right, guys, now it's time to coat your chicken. While your oil is getting hot, make sure you coat your chicken very well and then put it inside to be fried. All right, guys, so we're not going to fry these all the way. We're just going to get like a little browning on them. And then we're going to set this to the side because later on we're going to put it in some good old gravy and let it cook the rest of the way. So now we're going to use the same flour and we're going to pour it into the grease. You want to cook the flour for about 2 minutes before you add the vegetables in, the bell peppers and onions and garlic, just so you can get that flour taste, all cooked out. And then, of course, we're going to add the chicken bouillon base. Trust me, guys, this bouillabaisse gives off a lot of flavor. Then we're going to add a little bit of butter. This is like a half a stick. And we're just going to keep stirring because you do not want this to burn. Now we're going to add water. I'm adding water and not chicken stock. You know, the chicken bouillon base that I use, it's its own stock in itself. If you guys have not tried it, you guys have to try it. So after that, we're going to add in our seasonings. Of course, I'm using my favorite Complete Seasonings. And then this is Creole seasoning. And of course, a little bit more black pepper. I'm going to stir this and let it boil for a little bit. All right, so now it has been boiling for about 5 to 7 minutes. I've already tasted it and it's perfect. So I'm gonna pour this all over the chicken and I'm gonna put it in the oven. Now, usually I'll let it cook on the stove, but by me cooking other things, and I have a lot of things going on today, I'm just gonna pour this over the top and I'm gonna slide this in the oven and let it cook. You want to make sure your oven is preheated to 375. Put foil on and put it in there for an hour. Do not open the oven. Do not check it. Your chicken will be fine. But after an hour, we're going to check it. We're going to, flip it around a little bit. And we're going to add it back to the oven for a little more cooking time. All right, guys, it has been an hour. So now I'm taking it out and I'm gonna just flip them around, make sure that all of them are well incorporated with this gravy, and we're gonna slide it back in and cook it for another 30 minutes. Okay, guys, so now it's complete. The aromas are so good. Look at this chicken, it's so tender. I can't wait to eat. So let's get into these southern green beans. This is all you would need: bacon, onion, bell pepper you do not need. I don't know why I have that right there, but garlic, any seasonings you want. Of course, that chicken base, fresh green beans, and butter. I had to emphasize the fresh green beans because someone got in my comments talking about canned. But anyways, I try to stay away from this pork bacon, but you know what? Some dishes you just have to have a certain type of meat. And in this dish, you definitely need pork bacon. So I'm just going to chop this up and fry it up and get it into this southern green beans. Hey guys, so the way you handle your green beans is your choice. I'm going to cut mine up today, and I usually cut them around this size, not too big, not too small. They're pretty good whole, but I'd prefer to cut them. And hey, listen, you can use canned green beans if you want. It does not matter. I mean, the easier, the better. I'm a single mom, and easier is always better for me. But, Sundays, I'd love to do everything homemade, fresh. Just remember, if you're doing canned, the cook time is less. So here we go, guys. Let's fry up this bacon. And I don't know about you guys, but I always save my bacon grease for other dishes that I want to cook. Like refried beans or, something like that. But yeah, I always save my bacon fat. All right, guys, now it's time to add the onions. We're going to add the onions, cook this for about 3 minutes. Then we're going to add garlic, cook that for another 1 to 2 minutes. And then we're going to add that good old chicken bouillon base. So now I'm going to add my stick of butter. I don't know, that just gives it a nice little extra flavor. And for this recipe, I am going to use chicken stock. For this, I am not going to use water. For some reason, it just, brings out more flavor. And yeah, please use chicken stock. I mean, if not, then just, the bouillon base would be good. But I really recommend the chicken chicken stock. And then of course my complete seasoning, I can't, leave that out. This is paprika. This is like, for color. It gives it a good little flavor as well. This is garlic. I'm adding garlic powder and onion powder in this as well. And then of course we cannot forget the Creole kick. You can add any kind of Creole seasoning you want, or you can just leave it out altogether if you do not like spicy. I like a little kick. Sometimes I add a little crushed pepper, but today I'm not going to do that. And of course, you always want to taste your, food. Make sure that it's up to par, and to me, it's perfect. So now it's time to add the star of the show, the green beans. Make sure that you push it all the way down into that goodness. And once it comes to boil, then you want to cover it and let it boil for about 15 to 20 minutes. So now that it has been boiling for 20 minutes, I'm going to add in some potatoes. Remember, guys, potatoes take away flavoring. So you do want to make sure that you keep tasting your sauce, making sure that it's, still good. So I'm going to put these potatoes in and I'm going to cook it for about 15 minutes. And yeah, we'll be right back. Oh my God, guys, this smells so delicious. You guys would love it. So what you want to do is check your potatoes. You don't want them too mushy. You want them fork tender. And as soon as they're fork tender, this dish will be done. As you can see, this dish is done. And look at that, guys. Southern green beans at its best. Now it's time to move on to these easy mashed potatoes. Salt, pepper, garlic. sour cream, milk, and of course any potatoes that you want to use. And this is how I'm gonna cut it. I like the skin on. You can peel them if you want, but this is how I like it, and this is how I'm gonna do it. So to your water, you want to make sure that you add salt and bring it to a boil before you put those potatoes in. Now that it's boiling, go ahead and put your potatoes in. We're going to cook these potatoes for about 20 to 30 minutes, checking them, of course, to make sure they're not overcooking. All right, guys, so it's been about 25 minutes and they are fork tender. I don't want them too, smooth. And now it's time to add all the ingredients. I'm adding the butter first so that it can get all in there and, melt it. And then I'm going to add everything else. These are pretty easy mashed potatoes. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. I like coarse black pepper. If you guys watch my videos, I always say that, but it's just something about coarse black pepper that brings out flavor to me. This is onion powder and garlic powder that I added into it. I also added a little bit of salt. When I use gravy, I do not like my mashed potatoes creamy, so I try to keep them at a thick consistency. So yeah, I'm gonna add little by little so I can get what the consistency that I like. So when you do yours, you do it how you want, but I don't like my mashed potatoes runny when I use gravy. And of course, make sure you taste as you go so that you get the correct taste that you want. I added just a little bit of parsley just for, a little cute little color inside. So yeah, and these are pretty much done. This dinner is really not time consuming, guys. This is a pretty quick and easy meal for Sunday dinner, and I hope that you will try it. Thank you for watching Cooking with S, and I hope that you guys come back again.